Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. It's raining here. How are you all doing? Right, now, the subject matter of today's video is how people react when they feel backed into a corner. Let's use that phrase, shall we? Some people use the expression cornered rats, but I don't want to be accused of calling someone a rat. It's an English expression. Perhaps you use it in Australia, America, other parts of the world. But let's play it on the safe side. When a person is cornered, they will act in all sorts of illogical ways, really. They will panic. They will feel threatened. If you're, what I'm referring to really is someone who may have not been honest, or may just feel boxed in, painted into a corner. That's another expression. Now, when people are in those sort of situations, they can sometimes do really drastic things. Out of panic, I suppose. And what I'm referring to is the situation with LadyC and this GoFundMe. And I've been thinking about this, and I'm sure all of you know about this, but in case you don't, apparently, if I've got my facts correct, LadyC established a GoFundMe to raise money for Thomas Markle Sr. for his birthday. She closed the GoFundMe down when it was all finished, I think back in August, and it would appear that someone at GoFundMe reactivated it, and that further 2 more people donated money. Then really within a very short time window, the Daily Mail called LadyC and asked about allegations that she had misappropriated funds from that, and that maybe she'd given it to the Markle children, or maybe she'd spent some of the money on herself. I suppose that was the implication. I mean, an outrageous allegation against a lady who has not only fought against the odds her entire life. She is a historical authoress. Believe me, I've got some of her books, and they're really factual. They will stand the test of time. Not only that, she has gone on and bought a historical building, Castle Goring, and renovated it when all around said don't. She's turned it into a fabulous castle. She holds weddings and other events there. She is an enormously, phenomenally successful woman of substance. Talk about feminism, Megan. Women empowerment. I think LadyC ticks all of those boxes. I can't therefore imagine why she would want to pilfer a couple of quid off a GoFundMe that she set up out of kindness to help somebody else. But apparently, the Daily Mail phoned her up. And yes, I did watch the recording where she put a video up. I'll put a link in the description to this one. And she recorded the telephone conversation. She phoned the legal department. I think it was of the Daily Mail. I'm pretty sure it could have been Mail on Sunday, because I think they are actually 2 different companies. They're sister papers, but they are different companies. It was one of those 2. She phoned the legal department up, and I was just loving it. It was awesome. I was like, go, LadyC. Don't take any nonsense off these people. She laid it down in no uncertain terms. You are not to print 1 word of this falsity. And quite right too. And she'd have them all up in court, quick as a flash. But what I'm thinking is, firstly, how did the campaign come to be re-alived in order for 2 further people to donate money? And secondly, why after such a short space were the newspapers informed? Now, I'm sure it's not the newspaper themselves that would have done something like this. I mean, the Daily Mail, the Mail on Sunday, all of the nationals, they are really busy people. And although LadyC is really famous, I just can't see them going to GoFundMe and saying, hey, let's rekindle that. We'll make a couple of donations and we'll put an allegation. I just can't see it. Somebody has called the Daily Mail. That's clear. And somebody has reactivated the GoFundMe at GoFundMe. That's clear. And they both those things happened really close together. Well, I think this is a matter for the police. And as you all know, there are so many police involved with me and Trevor and other YouTubers. And I would love to tell you the good news, but I can't. I just can't. And I do feel for Trevor, who's going through a wave of emotions at the moment. Happiness, anger, happiness, you know, he's dealing with that, but it's his story to break the good news when the time comes. But I'm beginning to wonder, there are so many of these YouTubers who get attacked under such scurrilous methods. Could it possibly be a conspiracy? I mean, I am a conspiracy theorist. I like to put my tin hat on once in a while, but it's a peculiar action to take to, I mean, who would have the power? Who would have the power and the influence and the inclination, let's face it, to contact GoFundMe and say, turn that fundraiser back on? Who? I mean, it would have to be someone of great influence. It would have to be someone who has great inclination. What that inclination would be, I don't know. Perhaps they wanted Thomas Markle Sr. to get more money. It would have to be someone, and what motivation could there be? I mean, has someone run out of options? Does someone feel, well, shall we say, painted into a corner somewhat? Angry, lashing out? Because a lot of the YouTubers, LadyC, myself, Trevor, Wally, Taz, Murky, we all have one thing in common. You know, we don't really have a lot in common, all of us. We're all very different people, interested in very different things. We all have very different lifestyles. So what could we all have in common? Oh yes, well, we critique certain members of the royal family. So, if Harry has definitely left Meghan, and there's further publication saying he just finds her such a control freak, he just wants space, freedom, the freedom flight in the opposite direction. Well, maybe somebody feels angry and they want to lash out at somebody. Maybe somebody holds some of us YouTubers responsible, for example, that we were the ones who drove a wedge between them. I mean, you can just see it coming, can't you? That kind of allegation. It's interesting, isn't it? Curiouser and curiouser. Now, LadyC, I am certain, is the type of person who will not only sue their arses, any newspaper who prints this, but I'm pretty certain that she will want to get to the bottom of this. And if it is a matter for the police, I'm equally confident that she will get the police involved. And police are quite effective, it would turn out. Anyway, right, to change the subject somewhat, I've started building my spiral staircase, so I thought I'd show you that while we're here. It's raining. My mat and resin finally turned up. Graham had already ordered some resin and mat from Amazon, which oddly enough turned up just before. And our new windows arrived, but I won't show you the windows yet. Graham's got a video all about the windows on his channel. But I'll show you the staircase. He's done a bit of the staircase as well. So, right, if I scooch this down here, I've done the first 3 steps. Can you see? Yeah, you can see that. And these bits here, it's quite difficult with one hand. They're not fixed yet, so we can adjust them to exactly the angle that we want, all independently of each other. These are just offcuts of marine ply that were left over, so I thought, I'll make some steps out of them. And this is actually a broom handle. There you go, that serves one up to the trolls. My broomstick. It cost €4.50 and I bought 5 of them because these are pieces of broom handle, and then on the other side there will be other pieces that go from underneath each step down to the ground. I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to see if I'm filming it correctly or not. So I'm quite impressed with that, and at the beginning of the idea Graham said, you know, you're mad. Building a spiral bad enough building a normal staircase. And then as he looked at my idea, he went, I'm not sure this is going to work. And then as it's developed, he's gone, actually, hang on, I think this I think this might actually work. And now he's really excited about it, which is awesome, because it's turned into a really fun project for the two of us to do together. And ultimately, so it will start down here, that one's straight. And then I'll space them out how I want them until they go up to the top, the 6th step. And well, we'll see. We'll see if it works out. We might have to beef it up a bit. We're not quite sure about the physics of the whole thing, you know. Physics and gravity might have a different idea, especially when one's got a Vino. And I am going to put railings up on the roof. So yeah, what do you all think about that? I mean, who could possibly want to attack Lady C? Who could possibly have had the influence and inclination? I think that's an important ingredient. Inclination to rekindle a closed down GoFundMe. And further than that, who would have the inclination? Perhaps it was a different person. And it's a pure coincidence. Personally, I don't believe in coincidences, but might have been. Completely unrelated, separate person phoned the Daily Mail who psychically knew that someone else had reactivated it, or they were eagle-eyed and saw it had been reactivated. I mean, what an allegation to make against someone like Lady C, who is so established, as if. They're playing with fire, they're going to get their fingers burnt. But yeah, I mean, acts of desperation. Now, that is something that interests me. That is an interesting development, and that is something that I will be watching. I suspect you guys will be too. I'd also like to say a massive thank you to all of you for sticking with me. And I see that us as a community are approaching 40,000, and I never, ever, ever thought I would see the day. And you have kept me going through thick and thin, through dark and light, and I can't say it often enough. I feel like all of you are fixing the boat up for me, because it feels like you're here with me, you're actually helping me. I found my pair of sunglasses that went missing. They were in the dinghy. I bailed that out earlier because it was sinking with all the rainwater, and I found a pair of sunglasses. They must have fallen off my head when I took you all for a dinghy row. We'll go for another row when the weather clears up a bit, but in the meantime we're going to crack on with the fiberglass when the weather is a bit drier. We should get a break in the weather. It's this is October. Sometimes rain, sometimes sunshine. Anyway, that's enough from me. I really look forward to hearing your theories, thoughts and opinions in the comments below. And see, when people are desperate, I suppose they make mistakes. That's the thing. They're not thinking with a cool head. They're not thinking logically. They're thinking anger, emotion, temper, tantrum type thing. Of course, I'm not talking about anyone specific. No one specific in mind. Thank you very much for listening.